Greetings, humans. I'm Andy, and I'm George, and welcome back to the Windmill Horses. So this song is about a shepherd. This is Woolgatherer by Wilderun. Now, what I want to say about Wilderun is I've heard the last album and a bit of the earlier stuff. The last album, I mean the one before this one, so the 2019 album Veil of Imagination. This is a song from the new album called Epigon, and it's not one of the singles, because while you expect that we would get into an album with one of the singles, you're wrong, because we're prog snobs. So we're gonna start with a 14-minute song. So, I want to say this, given that this is Woolgatherer, correction, shepherd. Is it just me, or does the artwork look a bit like wool? And clouds at the same time. It's like, if sheep were clouds, you get this artwork. But I bloody love it. It looks fantasy-like. And this was a suggestion from Maggie and Kyle. Thank you very much for the suggestion. We actually needed an excuse to check out some Wilderun, and our subscribers weren't giving us anything. So, 14-minute prog snobbish song off of Wilderun new album Epigon. Are you ready? No.
Then all bent and turned itself to smoke. Legions filled with questions appeared as soon as I awoke. Will you persist, practicing the end before the start? The way I'm crawling sideways, you're better off if I depart. Won't you dismiss me? Dismiss me. I'm tired and applauded for an answer. Let's
Yes! Nice!
appearing as a statue while running through the trees. One earth kept its balance, but luckily there were more I could not see.
Oh, yes!
They were born of nothing. Stay with me. Stay with me. You let me in so graciously. Secretive emotions the universe will keep. Punishment or privilege, it offers you an opening to peek. This is the way. This is the light. Yet suddenly we
Okay, I have thoughts. Oh, God! Look, I love this band. Okay. Yeah, so... Go. They have such a way of, like, telling a story with their music. Doesn't matter what the story is about, just the evolution of it is so captivating, and everything about it is descriptive. It kind of brings images to mind, like images of like childhood, I would say, in the beginning, images of adventure when the big stuff kicks in, and the vocals work very well with that too, because when the heavy stuff come in, it's kind of like a struggle. It's like this tormented sort of scream, but then the cleans are so a bit playful and almost kind of like a narrator telling you something, describing something. So it's very tactile music, if you will. You can feel it. And I think it might just be my headphones because we're listening through a splitter, but I think in sound, this one is a bit more like raw and like not as much of a clear sound as the older one.
Yeah.
And with the whole cloudy aesthetic of the cover artwork, that works really well too.
Yeah, so what I would say is these guys really know to make their sound fit with the artwork, or vice versa. I'm not really sure how they do it, but it's like, you see that? You see how the logo is like wrapped in all the smoke and stuff, and it's not really clear. It's kind of foggy. That's kind of what the music feels like. It's like you're shrouded in this mist, and it's intriguing and it's captivating, but it's kind of blurry.
Yeah, so that's actually another thing that is relatable to me, because I often feel like listening to Wilderun is like stepping into a dream. It's like you can see it, you follow it, you act it out, but you don't know what it is or why it's happening, and you can't really remember it once you're out of it, which is why you should go back to it and listen to it a lot. The bass!
Jesus, sweet baby Jesus. Okay, that is a lot. Like a lot. That shepherd must have had some life, and I think we just witnessed all of it. Bro, I hate to say this, but I'm not sure at this point that this song is about a shepherd.
Pretty sure the shepherd was a metaphor to begin with.
Okay.
Dude, so, okay, their artwork and their music go together hand in hand so well. Like, all of this was like floating through clouds of some intoxicating substance. And as I say that, I realize I sound like a stoner, which I'm not. Wilderun are my stoner thing. They're weed. You guys are weed. I'm sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. Trying to gather thoughts.
So, first off, textures. Yes. I thought this with Veil of Imagination. I think I'm finding even more here. No one can create as unique and like otherworldly and captivating and hypnotizing and confusing textures and different forms of tactile sound like these guys can do. Like, I feel it on my bloody hands. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, now imagine we compliment the hell out of that and then they're like, we just picked the sample. So, we don't really know how all this works, but could be anything.
If you pick the sample, you pick the right one.
Yes, that's a skill in itself. And what we didn't say in the pause is about like tactile sounds that we can feel is just how important the orchestral parts are for that. And it's got the like Devin Townsend wall of sound effect, which is good.
Yeah.
Anything that is like Devin Townsend is good.
But you know what I feel with this? You know how you say prog musicians make black metal that you can hear? Yes. So when the blast beats kick in and there's this like shrieky scream, it's like on Veil of Imagination it had a lot more of the like low scream tone, and here it's just kind of shrieky and kind of muffled in there in between, and that blast isn't really clear and it kind of feels black metalish to me. But it's like if black metal was mixed by Devin Townsend and Word. Yes, because it has the wall of sound effect and it has the orchestral layer so powerful, and it's like all the band elements, the riffs, the drums, the bass, they're kind of like swimming in the pool of it.
Yeah.
It's not like Adrian was saying about how she makes orchestration like it's the coating on the top. For these, it's not the coating on the top. It's like you get a full bowl of it and then you sink your music in it. It's like production-wise, that's what it feels.
It's like a dip. Like the band is a nacho and the orchestrals are like
the sauce.
Why can't I remember the name of the theme for nachos?
Guacamole.
Exactly, yes. So your orchestrations are guacamole.
Purple guacamole.
Purple guacamole.
You make it with prunes. I just thought of that.
Okay, we're gonna stop that. I have more thoughts about the clean bits. I'm gonna annoy people. They sound like Opeth. Ish, more or less, in the vibe, because they have kind of a bit of this creepy tension, and that's very much an Opeth thing. And what I say to bands who don't like being compared to Opeth is, don't sound like Opeth! But they don't just sound like Opeth. My god, I'm gonna make these guys sound like ripoffs, which they're not. They also sound a bit like Caligula's Horse, with the approach to the vocals, I feel, on the clean bits, and how that syncs with the instrumentals. Like this thing where you synchronize bits of the instrumental exactly with the vocals. That's a gent thing if you do it on the heavy bits, but it's a Caligula's Horse thing if you do it on the clean bits. So that's like, I catch your drift, but no. I'm not seeing Caligula's Horse into this band. I don't know, like vibe-wise, sound-wise, they're just too far apart. Maybe that thing you're saying they both do, but no. Okay, no Caligula's Horse in here for me. Okay, so you're saying I'm wrong, I'm saying you're wrong, which is what brothers do. So.
We're both wrong.
Yes, we're both wrong.
Which I think anyone who's actually a connoisseur of this band can tell quite easily.
Yeah, so instead of looking at our stupid faces, go watch someone who actually knows what they're talking about.
Okay, so there was this part somewhere in the second part after we let it go, where it like, you had clean guitars and bass kind of going on and all these orchestrations and this eerie floaty sound, and then it would just like kind of start tensing and you get kind of like this thunder, sort of muffled, distant thunder coming closer, and then it cuts. Yes. And then it starts building again and then it cuts. And for me...
Why are you taking lessons from Mick Gordon?
Yeah. Mick Gordon did it with demons, they're making it with clouds.
Yes.
So, if Mick Gordon wrote clouds, that's what it would sound like.
Yes.
But I like how they did that tease and it was like tensing and release and tense and release and tense and release, and I feel they do the same thing with like dissonant and then clear stuff and then dissonant and then clear stuff. And after about 4 times of doing it, and you think that's just their game, eventually the tense does blow into a hit.
Yeah.
And that made me so happy. But they do this thing, the hit comes, you think now it's going heavy, but then the orchestra is like builds one layer up and then it's still dreamy.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what the outro was.
It's dreamy blast beats. Well, not the outro, just the song overall. It's dreamy blast beats. We should stop.
Yeah, we should stop. So if you enjoyed this reaction, we greatly appreciate the likes and shares. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe with bells.
Thank you very much for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed your stay, and we'd love to see you back at the Windmill very soon.
See ya.